Hello folks, welcome back. I'm really looking forward to this one because I'm going to be featuring this 924 that I picked up at the UK Slot Car Festival at Gaydon. If you haven't seen that video of the cars I picked up there, then do check that one out, and also check out the one where I actually went round to show. They're both good videos and people seem to be liking them, so yeah, check them out if you get a chance. Now this car, I've not had one from this manufacturer before, and I've also not run it until recording this video. I've been desperate to run it around the track, but I thought, no, I'm going to do it all for the video, because then you get my instant reaction from a car that or a make that I've not had before. But yeah, I love how this car's detailed. It comes quite nicely packaged. The box is sort of, I took it out of the box because obviously you're not going to see it very well through there. But yeah, you sort of have the normal sort of jewel case, but with this sort of plastic around it. Manufacturer's Falcon slot cars. Like I say, I've never had anything from them before. And there's a little information sheet that sort of comes with it as well. Gives us a little bit of detail about the car. But yeah, let's take a bit of a more detailed look at it. Let's crack on. Now I really love how this car looks. The livery on it looks fantastic. The detail on it actually gives me a bit of a Fly vibe actually. I'm not sure if there's a kind of collaboration there, or even if it's perhaps the same company, but looking at the way the printing's done, the detail of the body, the detail of the interior, it looks like it kind of gives, as I say, it kind of gives me vibes of like the Fly products. Let's hope it performs a bit better than Fly stuff typically performs, but never deny that Fly stuff does look good, and this does look really good. I love the wheels, for example. They just look fantastic. But overall, this 924 looks really, really good. It's just got so much detail about it. That printing as it goes around the side there, you've got all those sort of logos on the back of the front wing. There's just so much to it, and it's done so well. I love those wide box arches. They just look so aggressive. You know, the 924 wasn't a very desirable car, but these Carrera GTs, they just look brilliant. The box arches really make it. Yeah, just an overall really good looking car, and that interior detail as it comes round there and you can see inside, just really well done. It's just overall looks a great car, and another one where it can look great on a shelf, even if you weren't someone that was into slot car racing and you just collected good looking model cars. This is one that can perform that purpose, but has the added benefit of you can run it around the track if you want to. But let's take a bit more of a detailed look at the car, because we need to get it open, have a look inside. I'm just noticing as it goes round now, those fuel intake pipes in the rear window there. And there's actually some fuel pipes or brake pipes or something that go round the interior. So we'll have to take a look at those and see if we can open up that interior. And it looks like the driver might be wearing a martini suit in there, which is pretty cool. Not just your usual just white driver or white overalls, but he's got an actually detailed suit on there, racing suit on there. We've got little cutouts in the windows as well, so the windows are ventilated, which is different and nice to see. But let's move on to the underside and have a bit more of a detailed look at the construction of the car. Underneath we've got quite a basic chassis. It's very flat bottomed, with our rear body mounts there and front ones there. We've got a guide which again looks quite Fly-like with the pushed in copper braids, although it's got kind of a bit more of a leading edge on the front of the guide, which I wouldn't normally see on Fly. We've also got adjustable height of the front axle. There's little Allen grub screws in there, and there'll probably be some in the top for us to be able to adjust that height of the front axle, and also take up that slack that you probably saw when I was showing you the car at the intro, where that front axle could move up and down. We've got, this would be the mounting point for onto the display case, side exit exhaust, quite what looks like quite a sort of wide but not very long magnet, so it'll be interesting to see how that looks on the other side. Standard basic motor, sidewinder assembly, and then we've got our brass pinion gear and what looks like a plastic spur gear. Tyres are quite wide on the back. They are 11.5mm with a 9mm wide on the front. But yeah, just a basic sort of design there. Let's open it up and have a look at the inside. So inside then, and starting at the back, we've got the other side of our rear body mounts. Sidewinder assembly as mentioned. Brass pinion gear, which looks quite a large pinion gear actually, which might be interesting. I'm not sure what that will mean the gearing's like. Plastic spur gear, brass bushes there on nice wide rear tyres. As I say, that magnet isn't very long but quite wide, so we'll test the magnet force on that later and see what that's actually like. Well, it's kind of a combination actually of the magnet and tyre grip with our push meter that we have. We've got a little bit of bracing there on the chassis, just make it a little bit stiffer. Our wiring coming through to the front braid. That's a screw-in braid, which is quite good to see. And these wires look to be quite flexible, which is nice. And then our adjustable front axle position with these grub screws here. Now, to be honest with you, I've never messed about much with adjusting front axles on cars, so it'd be interesting if anyone in the comments can sort of point me in the direction of what's good, because part of me thinks obviously you don't want this axle to be able to push up too much, because then that will allow the car to tip more and perhaps de-slot. Another part of me says you do want it to move up so that it never catches and kind of pushes the car out. I'll probably play with that outside of this video and see what I can achieve with that. But it'd be interesting to hear people's thoughts on that. Into the underside of the body. Again, this looks very fly to me, with all the mountings kind of melted on, all the the underside of the interior is all melt fixed, which means you can't get access to it. These here are those fuel lines or whatever they are, whether they're supposed to be fuel lines or brake lines or whatever, probably fuel lines. They're actually metal, they are. That's actually a piece of metal sort of wire that's fed through, which is quite nice to see. We've got our vents, backs of all our vents and backs of lights and grills, all again melt fixed in place, and then our front body mounts. In terms of weights, it's quite a light car overall, one of the lightest we've tested since we have been testing the weights of the cars, which started with that Mustang from Carrera, which is a really heavy car, but this one is overall, it's 69 grams, which is the lightest car that I've measured so far. The other lightest was the Sierra Cosworth that we did in the last car review video, which was 80 grams. And we've got a body of 45 grams, chassis of 45 grams and a body at 25 grams. So yeah, quite a light car with a light body on it, which will help with centre of gravity. So let's bolt it back together and then test it on the track, and I'll give you my initial thoughts. initial thoughts then on this 924. I quite like it. I love how it looks around the track. I've already said about how I like how this car looks. It's not the best performer though. It doesn't really have much in the way of brakes. It rolls on quite well, which is not ideal on this track. I'm not sure if that's the gearing, because remember I said about having quite a large pinion gear there on the motor, or if that's down to lack of magnet traction, which is actually only 80 grams of push force needed to move it out of the way or move it off center, which is really low actually. It's the same as that Mustang GTY that we had from Carrera, which had the same problem as this actually, didn't it? It didn't brake very well, so maybe that's more connected to the magnet force and the gearing in this instance. Although that car had large wheels, which would have equated to tall gearing, which this car kind of has. But it's nice and punchy though. Pulls out, you know, it's got plenty of punch. You can sort of get the back end out quite nicely. I like that. But what I have noticed is that the guide's quite shallow. It's only 5mm, that guide. So it's quite easy to de-slot. So it sort of just comes out and then goes straight on. So that's one problem which could be improved by, you know, a different guide that's deeper, because most of them are around 6mm really. I think the likes of sort of Slot It and all that sort of stuff, they tend to be around 6mm I think. But yeah, initial thoughts are quite like it, but let's see how it performs lap time wise. Let's take a look. Well, that was kind of interesting. I was struggling to get a decent lap time out of it. It's very sort of tricky to get it consistently fast. Kept deslotting or tumbling out and causing me issues. So initially I got a lap time of 5.08, which would have placed it 22nd on the leaderboard, which would have been sort of slower than that Carrera Mustang GTY, and you know, slower than a lot of non-magnet cars. But I discovered something. You remember me talking about those grub screws that adjusted the ride height of these front wheels? Now what it was that these front wheels were actually sitting so low that the guide, half the guide was already out of the slot. So I did adjust that, and I found that there wasn't actually any leveling screws in the bottom. They were only in the top. So I took them out of the top completely and put them in the bottom and wound them virtually all the way up, which then made it go straight into the slot a lot better. Still could be lower, to be honest with you. It's not dead tight on those braids. There's still a little bit of movement there. But I did manage to then get a 4.79, which places it in 18th. That's the time I'm going to take for it, because that's an easy mod to do and the parts are there to do it. So I'm gonna take that as its time. I think it's more representative of what the car actually is. Obviously the usual thing of truing the tyres would improve it further, but I try not to do that on newer cars, or only if it's absolutely necessary. But yeah, overall I like that, and truing those tyres would bring that faster. I imagine, you know, like I say, a different guide that's deeper will really help. I'm reluctant to put some weight in the front because the thing rolls on quite a lot anyway, so I would try and change that guide really. Although it's quite a light car, so you could
perhaps get away with a small amount of weight in the front just to stop that front trying to lift. Because if you down some of the straights, when it hits like one of the joints in the track, you can see it sort of lift a bit on the front end. So maybe that is the way forward. But overall, I like that car. Looks great, and there's easy improvements to be made, and I think and I like it. I think I've said that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Cheers then. Bye.